Hey there, fellow theorists, it's your boy Alex back with new video, and let me tell you, this one's a doozy. We're diving headfirst into the world of cold cases, the ones that have kept investigators scratching their heads for decades. You know the ones. Grainy photos, cryptic clues, whispers of conspiracies in dimly lit rooms. But here's the twist. These aren't your typical unsolved mysteries. These are the cases where science finally stepped in, wielding its mighty magnifying glass to shed light on the darkest corners of these enigmas. Get ready to have your minds blown, because we're about to unravel 5 BuzzFeed unsolved mysteries that were finally cracked wide open by the power of science. For decades, these cases haunted investigators until science cracked the code. Alright, let's kick things off with a real-life treasure hunt, shall we? Forrest Fenn, an art dealer and Vietnam War veteran, hid a treasure chest somewhere in the Rocky Mountains. He left behind a cryptic poem with clues to its whereabouts, and for a decade, thousands of people, dubbed fanatics, were absolutely obsessed, dedicating their lives to deciphering the clues and finding the loot. Some even met tragic ends in their pursuit. Now imagine the internet exploding when a guy named Jack Stewart finally found the treasure in 2020. A real-life Indiana Jones moment, but here's the thing. Stewart stayed tight-lipped about the exact location for years, respecting Fenn's wishes and the environment. Finally, in 2023, the location was revealed to be Wyoming. Turns out science played a key role. Stewart used advanced mapping techniques, analyzing geological formations and vegetation patterns mentioned in Fenn's poem. It's like something straight out of National Treasure. This one's a heartbreaker, guys. It's a story that has haunted many for decades. A tale of a young life cut tragically short. For 65 long years, the identity of a young boy found dead in a cardboard box in Philadelphia remained a mystery. This boy, whose life was taken so early, was known only as the boy in the box. He was discovered in a cardboard box, abandoned on a cold street in Philadelphia. The image of that box, and the innocent child within it, haunted the memories of those who came across the case. This innocent child, discarded like a piece of trash, became a symbol of lost potential and unanswered questions. His story touched the hearts of many, and his face became a haunting reminder of the fragility of life. The case haunted investigators and the public alike. It became a symbol of unanswered questions and the desperate need for justice. Year after year, detectives pored over old files, hoping to find a clue that would lead them to the boy's identity. But in 2022, science gave this little boy his name back: Joseph Augustus Zarelli. DNA technology, specifically genetic genealogy, was the key. This breakthrough was a testament to the advancements in forensic science and the relentless pursuit of truth. Joseph Augustus Zarelli. DNA technology, specifically genetic genealogy, was the key. By comparing DNA from the scene to public databases, investigators were able to build a family tree and finally track down Joseph's relatives. By comparing DNA from the scene to public databases, they painstakingly pieced together a family tree. This meticulous work led them to Joseph's relatives, providing the answers that had eluded them for so long. Investigators were able to build a family tree and finally track down Joseph's relatives. It was a bittersweet victory, bringing closure to a decades-long mystery, but also reopening old wounds. It was a bittersweet victory, bringing closure to a decades-long mystery but also reopening old wounds. The revelation of Joseph's identity was a moment of triumph for the investigators, but it also brought back the pain of his tragic death. Out of respect for Joseph's family, many details surrounding his life and death remain private. The family, who had been unaware of his fate for so long, now had to come to terms with the reality of his loss. But at least now, he's no longer just a nameless victim. He has an identity, a story, and a family who can finally lay him to rest with the dignity he deserves. The community, too, can find some solace in knowing that Joseph is no longer forgotten. He has an identity, a story, and a family who can finally lay him to rest with the dignity he deserves. The story of Joseph Augustus Zarelli is a poignant reminder of the power of science and the enduring human spirit to seek justice and closure no matter how long it takes. Chapter 3. The Lady of the Dunes, Unmasking a Cold-Blooded Killer. Picture this. 1974, Cape Cod, Massachusetts. A serene summer day, the sun shining brightly over the picturesque coastline. Families enjoying their time on the beach, children building sandcastles, and the gentle sound of waves crashing against the shore. But beneath this idyllic scene, a dark and sinister secret lay hidden. A gruesome discovery on a beach. A woman's body, nearly decapitated, her hands missing. The scene was horrifying, sending shockwaves through the tight-knit community. Who was this woman, and what had led to such a brutal end? The questions were endless, and the answers seemed elusive. She became known as the Lady of the Dunes, her identity a mystery for almost 50 years. Despite numerous efforts by law enforcement and amateur sleuths alike, her name and story remained shrouded in mystery. The case grew colder with each passing year, but the determination to uncover the truth never waned. Theories swirled, but the case remained ice cold. Some speculated she was a victim of organized crime, while others believed she might have been an unfortunate tourist who crossed paths with the wrong person. The lack of concrete evidence made it difficult to pursue any single theory with confidence. Then, in 2022, forensic genealogy struck again. This groundbreaking technique, which had already solved numerous cold cases, offered a glimmer of hope. By analyzing DNA samples and tracing family trees, scientists were able to uncover connections that had previously been invisible. This time it led investigators to Ruth Marie Terry, a name that had never been associated with the Lady of the Dunes before. Ruth's family had long wondered about her fate, and now they finally had some answers. But this revelation only deepened the mystery. But identifying Ruth was just the tip of the iceberg. The real challenge was uncovering the circumstances that led to her tragic end. Investigators had to dig deeper into her past, her relationships, and the events leading up to her disappearance. See, Ruth had been married to a man named Guy Moldavan, a known antiques dealer who had a chilling habit of referring to his wife as Jinx after her disappearance. Moldavan's behavior raised many red flags, and his past was filled with dark secrets. Get this. Moldavan was a suspect in another murder case, and guess what? His involvement in multiple suspicious activities made him a prime suspect. The connections between the cases were too strong to ignore, and investigators began to piece together a disturbing pattern. He resembled a composite sketch of the Lady of the Dunes killer released years earlier. The resemblance was uncanny, and it added another layer of complexity to the investigation. Could it be that the man responsible for Ruth's death had been hiding in plain sight all along? Talk about a chilling coincidence? Or was it? The more investigators delved into Moldavan's past, the more they uncovered a web of deceit, manipulation, and violence. The pieces of the puzzle were finally starting to come together, but there were still many unanswered questions. While Moldavan died in 1991, Ruth's identification finally gave investigators the missing piece they needed to connect the dots. Her family could now find some semblance of closure, knowing that her story had been told, and her memory honored. Justice may have been delayed, but thanks to the relentless pursuit of the truth and the power of science, it wasn't denied. The Lady of the Dunes may have been silenced for decades, but her story will continue to resonate, reminding us of the importance of never giving up in the face of adversity. Chapter 4. Amelia Earhart, Lost and Found. Amelia Earhart, the aviation pioneer who vanished over the Pacific Ocean in 1937, has captivated the world for generations. Theories abound. Did she crash and sink? Was she captured by the Japanese? Did she secretly survive and live out her days on a remote island? For years the mystery seemed impenetrable. Then, a glimmer of hope emerged from a tiny island called Nikumaroro. Bone fragments found there in 1940 were initially dismissed as belonging to a male, but recent analysis using modern DNA technology suggests they could be a match for Earhart. Imagine that. A tiny piece of bone, lost for decades, could hold the key to solving one of history's greatest aviation mysteries. While the DNA evidence is compelling, it's not conclusive. Still, it's a tantalizing clue that keeps the spirit of exploration alive and reminds us that even the most enduring mysteries can be unraveled with a little help from science. Chapter 5. The Somerton Man, A Name from Beyond the Grave. This one's straight out of a spy novel. Imagine a story so mysterious, so filled with intrigue, that it could easily be the plot of a best-selling thriller. That's exactly what we have here. In 1948, a man was found dead on Somerton Beach in Australia. This picturesque location, known for its serene beauty, suddenly became the epicenter of a baffling enigma. No identification, just a cryptic note in his pocket and a suitcase full of seemingly ordinary belongings. The note, which read Tamam Shud, meaning ended or finished in Persian, only deepened the mystery. His suitcase contained items like a shaving brush, a pair of scissors, and a spool of thread, none of which provided any clues to his identity. He became known as the Somerton Man, and his case became one of Australia's most enduring mysteries. Detectives and journalists alike were captivated, and the public was left to speculate. Was he a spy, a jilted lover, or perhaps a man with a secret so dark that he chose to take it to the grave? Fast forward to 2022, and genetic genealogy cracks the code once again. Advances in DNA technology have revolutionized the way we solve cold cases, and the Somerton Man's case was no exception. Scientists meticulously analyzed his DNA, comparing it to databases of genetic information. The Somerton Man was identified as Charles Webb, an electrical engineer from Melbourne. Webb, who had seemingly vanished from the records, was finally given a name. This revelation was a monumental breakthrough, but it also opened up a new set of questions. But the mystery didn't end there. Identifying Webb was just the beginning. Why was he in Adelaide? What led to his untimely death? And why did he carry that cryptic note? These questions continue to baffle researchers and enthusiasts alike. Turns out Charles had a connection to a woman named Jessica Harkness, and their relationship was anything but ordinary. Jessica, also known as Jestin, was linked to the mysterious code found in Webb's possession. Some believe she held the key to understanding his final days. Letters, coded messages, possible espionage. It's a tangled web of intrigue that reads like something out of James Bond. Theories abound, suggesting Webb might have been involved in espionage activities during the Cold War, or perhaps he was entangled in a love affair gone wrong. While we may never know the full story of Charles Webb's life and death, science has finally given him his name back and shed light on a life shrouded in secrecy. The identification of Webb is a testament to the power of modern science and the relentless pursuit of truth. It's a reminder that everyone has a story, even those who seem determined to keep theirs hidden. The Somerton Man's tale is a poignant example of how the past can reach out and touch the present, urging us to uncover the secrets that lie just beneath the surface. These 5 cases are just a glimpse into the world of unsolved mysteries and the incredible power of science to bring closure to families and answers to questions that have lingered for far too long. It's a testament to human curiosity, determination, and the unwavering belief that even the most baffling mysteries can be solved. So, what do you think? Which unsolved mystery do you think deserves to be put under the microscope of modern science? Let me know in the comments below. And remember, for more unsolved mysteries, hit that subscribe button and binge BuzzFeed Unsolved now. Stay curious, my friends.